G'day, I'm Ash, and I know I was going to probably not cover more War Thunder, but here we are. This is the BA-11. It is a reward vehicle that you can obtain through the completion of a series of tasks in the World War mode. Where do you go to find that, you ask? Well, you go up to your profile up the very top, and it should necessarily tell you where that is. But yeah, if you click on your profile up the top there, then you hit achievements, and then you go down to the World War. You just click on the little plus, and then go on the other things. You can sort of see some of the tasks. There's 8 available. You only need 3 to get this particular vehicle, but that's okay. And then you complete a series of things listed there, win 10 battles, etc, etc, and you can get access to this particular little monster. Anyway, it's a rank 1 battle rating 1.3. It's got a 45mm cannon and a 7.62mm machine gun. Now, the one in the hull isn't working. That's kind of a disappointment, but it does have a coaxial gun as well. In terms of armor protection, well, you're looking at something that is incredibly unarmored. Let's have a look here. 13mm on the hull, the sides, and the rear. And the turret armor is 13mm all around. The top of the vehicle is possibly the weakest. The strongest point is the tracks around the front and the rear of the vehicle with 15mm. So that's your thickest point. Other than that, the gun is really the only sort of point that is, relatively thick. So anything that is 20mm or even 50 caliber is going to penetrate this thing. And well, the 8mm on the top and 13 on the very, very top. And then the turret upper piece is 6mm, so I guess there's not a lot of protection if you're going to aerial attack this. In terms of crew, it's got 4 crew. It's well spaced out, the ammo and everything is well laid out, the transmission is all there, but again, it's negligible. If you really want to hit this thing, shoot it in between the hull machine gun and the driver port, as you're most likely to kill all 4 crew at once. Now, when you unlock this vehicle, it does come as a premium, so everything is unlocked. The only notable thing is that it has an armor-piercing shell, which you probably won't use, even though it does have 63mm or 73mm at 10 meters. It's not exactly the greatest, even though it is an armor-piercing effect shell. You're most likely going to go up with the top shell, which is an armor-piercing high-explosive ballistic cap shell. Other interesting fact, it comes with artillery, so that can be useful. It is 8.1 tons, 90 horsepower, and, well, just generally look at it. It's an absolute little meme machine. It is a little heavy, and for Russia's heaviest armoured car during the Second World War, it's got some weight to back it up. Alright, enough chitter-chatter. Let's get on with some gameplay. Alright, welcome to Ash River. Definitely one of my more favourite maps to, I guess, play on. And at low tier, it doesn't necessarily matter. I've climbed up the hill on the left. We're just double-checking that there is no one up those rocks yet. And, well, I'm particularly mobile. This thing was doing about 30 off-road. Remember, top speed is around 55 kilometers an hour. And as you can see, just sort of trundling along 30 kilometers. As you can see, the turret traverse is rather slow. Anyway, I do like coming up to this position because early on you can see a bunch of tanks crossing directly there. I believe that's an Italian M13 or M15. It's an M13, and that is a Japanese tank. So already we're getting some action. It's the first kill of the match. We missed a shot on that poor little Japanese tank. That time we didn't, and there goes a key knee. Didn't know what hit him. Sort of got to hang around here, always reversing, and the biggest downfall with this particular gun platform is the gun depression. Russian vehicles are not known for having much gun depression at all, and this vehicle you really have to sort of think about where you position it, because if you're trying to get a shot on something that is a little bit lower, it can result in, well, you overexposing your vehicle. That being said, I'm just sort of scouting and looking around. I feel a little too exposed here. That's okay. Here is another M13. And provided I can shoot correctly, first shot hits the engine, second shot sets it on fire, third shot knocks its, I guess, track off. Let's move a little bit to the left. There we go. We'll get rid of that other M13. And that's our third kill. But you can tell that I'm definitely not a tanker. If I had been a competent tanker, I would have probably got that shot right off the bat. That's okay. You learn these things as you go. It doesn't look like there's any other immediate threats, even on the cliff up there. Though there is a little tank down there, you can see him there. I'm going to try and get a bead on him. Again, the gun's not depressing, so that's a bit of a problem. So do I overexpose myself and actually try and put a shot on that M13 that's sitting down there? Or do I sit up here and wait for some more enemies to appear? Who knows? But anyway, just look at this thing. It's it's hideous. It's absolutely hideous. But I like it. Anyway, we've moved down the hill, and we're going to see if we can see what we can see, and we get engaged by what appears to be a Panzer IIc. Again, the 20mm are really deadly. He's shooting machine guns at us. We can knock out his cannon. We do. We knock out his commander and his horizontal turret drive. Spray him with a bunch of machine guns. Don't hit that shot, and we're particularly lucky here. He's behind a deffinatley, and I barely scrape the top of his gun. And that's the 4th kill for this match. Now we're going to push up to the cliffside where it's a little easier to shoot enemies. But first we're just going to make sure our left and our rights are clear. There is a friendly T-35 to my right here. He's doing a wonderful job, just sort of being a bit of bait, although he's going to get shot at quite a bit sitting over here. With the horsepower, should be able to go over that, no problem. And with this sort of downward slope, it should provide enough gun depression for us to shoot at anything that's down there. Speaking of stuff that's down there, how did I not see that M13 to the left? Doesn't matter. We're going after this Japanese tank, it looks like. Knocked out his tracks. He's mobilized. Another shot in. Missed again. And her friendly goes for the shot, sets him on fire. I get an undamaged target. And there we are. That Igo-Ko is completely obliterated. Anyway, following the success of the BA-10, the Russians decided to upgrade the vehicle that they had, an existing platform, further. They were going to use a ZIS-5 army truck, which was better suited to rough terrain than the Gaz AAA truck that was used on the BA-10 chassis. And when the final prototype for the BA-11 came out, well, it was only tested and produced in small numbers. And just before production was due to start, the outbreak of war, well, only a few were produced. And despite the various upgrades being designed, well, the BA-11 project itself was cancelled. Now, that Panzer IC did get a beat on me, however I'm hearing tanks. And I have a nasty suspicion that there is going to be a few tanks coming around this corner. I don't know where they are, so I'm going to wedge myself against the rock. I'm going to start repairing, and there is a tank. There is an AB-43, the Italian armoured car, a very versatile and very deadly vehicle. But it's no match for something that is being a bit sneaky. Finally, there we go. We've got our 6th kill. But hang on. What's that noise? Sound of tracks? It's a little flak panzer. He's going to absolutely hurt if we can't take him out. Unfortunately for him, he is only penetrating the sides and rear. So we need to take that gun out as soon as possible. Lucky shot straight through the driver, knock out the commander. There is the 7th kill of the match. Anyway, we're going to focus back down the hill. Hang on. We haven't quite finished just yet. There is a couple more to clean up here. This poor little Japanese dude has no idea what hit him. He's busy minding his own business climbing this hill. And there goes the Keen. Again, low tier. What do you expect? For 1.3, you're going to verse enemies that have no idea what they're doing. So try and be gentle on the newer players. It's absolutely clubbing in some regards. Anyway, what we're going to do is hide ourselves here. We're going to use the lookout to our advantage, and hopefully we can start to actually get some capture zones and make a progress to actually trying to win this. Now the T-35 has gone for a cliff dive. You can see him just below me. I'm just sort of looking around with the binoculars, having a look, having a see, having a bit of a squiz. But let's talk about, the BA-11 in a little more detail. So, in the 1930s, Russians began to experiment with a ZIS-5 truck. One of these experiments meant that the vehicle was shortened, was given an improved engine, a lower frame, and an additional set of rear wheels. Due to this successful experiment, in the winter of 1938, engineers were given the go-ahead to create an armoured car based on a similar chassis. And the process started in the early few days of 1939. So it was intended that, it was a very sophisticated prototype, and it was produced on the basis of the ZIS-6 truck with the petrol engine, and it was set for factory trials shortly after it was intended, for a test in the Winter War, along with other prototype vehicles such as the KV-1, the SMK, and the T-46. However, the Winter War, with the finish, ended before the BA-11 prototype could be sent out. There were several different versions. They had upgraded various parts and what have you. Such included an improved radio, something which was very rare in armoured cars, let alone tanks of that particular era. Also bulletproof tyres and repair kits, puncture kits, with different hatches and so on and so forth. Going to put a pop shots off at this Panzer. He hasn't come out yet. Oh, there he is. He's crossing the bridge now. So we're going to nail him. No. I'm sort of waiting for the opportunity to really sort of nail him. We've got his engine aimed just a little bit to the left. The T-35 is going to take a shot at him. T-35 misses. Aim just a little bit higher. Critical hit. You know, one more shot should do. There we are. That is our, I don't know how many kills. That is our 10th kill. Yikes. We're doing alright. And down the cliff we go. Whee! I always love jumping off the cliff in this particular map. So much fun. Now, we're going to push up to the B point. This is a crucial cap. We need to start winning this. I want to slow that ticket bleed as soon as possible. The problem is they're whittling our team down pretty quickly. And it's a little bit of a concern. So we're going to push up through the mud here. Hopefully we can get another couple of kills. But again, this thing is not particularly well protected, and driving through the middle of the open is not exactly the greatest idea, especially on the Ash River. But hopefully, where's the entrance to this? Let's climb. It's to the right here, isn't it? Let's climb up there. Let's get into the cap zone. Let's decap it. And hopefully we'll be on our way. Now, I didn't even know this, but there was an anti-air just sitting right there. So just blind fired straight through the SDKFC 140/1. Again, another versatile vehicle, and there is our 11th kill. Alright, let's capture B point and just sort of have a look around. There's a Panzer 2C that's just entered our spawn. I really want to get rid of him. He's doing a number on our team. So I'm going to poke out just a little bit. Hopefully we can spot him. But he's spotted on the map, but I don't think that is even decent enough as is. And right, so the BA-11s were produced in, well, and were used in the defense of Leningrad. Due to its better armor, similar firepower, and substantially better mobility, it was arguably better than the early T-26 models that were in service near Leningrad, and they tended to be a fair better in combat on the road. The BA-11 achieved double the speed of a T-26, and the BA-11 tended to engage enemy armoured cars and gun emplacements. It was actually more fiercely armed than the enemy armoured cars, but even then, the chassis and engine were simply not good enough to provide the required speed and mobility for the demands of war, even despite good performance relatively to the other heavy armoured cars. We've just died, we've respawned, trying to get a beat on this particular guy. He is being a little sneaky. Just going to sort of wait for him here. You can hear him over the right hand side there. He's making his way down and underneath that bridge. That's okay. What I should be focusing on is getting into a capture zone. Well, it's a little too late to do that. But as you can see, decent mobility. It gets going pretty well. Brakes are alright. It does turn a little heavy, and it does require a little bit of finicky movement. And wise positioning in regards to where your turret is pointing, and particular situational awareness, allows you to get away with stuff like this. So I know he's going to come around from that direction. I know he knows I'm here. Get it ready, pre-aim, move the turret, fire, there we go. Before he could actually get a shot on us. Anyway, that's our 12th kill for the match. Let's see about getting towards that capture zone and putting the speed of the vehicle to use. But anyway, a fun vehicle indeed. Alright, let's turn. Goodness me, this thing is an absolute bus. We'll go down the slope, see what achievable speed we get. 49 kilometers an hour. We're going to artillery B. I don't think it's going to be enough. The ticket bleed is too strong, and we're about to head into a muddy patch, which means we'll slow down to around 15 kilometers. Yeah, no, this is basically game over. Well, a fantastic result, even though we couldn't win. So I hope you enjoyed this particular match. It was definitely an interesting one, and it showcased some of the things you can do with the vehicle in the right areas. So a decent amount of RP and certainly a decent amount of credits too. We unlocked 2 camouflages for the thing with 12 kills, 12 critical hits, and 95% activity. We got just a heap of rewards. Enemy squad on the enemy team, 9 kills and 6 kills. They did fairly well. Congratulations to them. It was a decent match indeed, and I certainly hope you enjoyed today's video. Alright lads, thank you very much for watching. My name is Ash, and I hope to see you in a video shortly. Alright, have a good one. Bye bye.